Assalamu alaikum. Friends, today I will tell you a wonderful story. After the death of a young man, the shalik bird came and testified for the young man. In view of that witness, the murderer was punished. Today's wonderful video will touch your heart. So don't drag this video of our today and keep watching till the end. So dear friends, let's get into the main story. In a village there lived a young man who was an orphan. His parents died in his childhood. But Allah Ta'ala was so kind to him that before his father's death, some property was left for him. But the property was not enough to last him a lifetime. The little boy eventually turned into a young man, but only he knows how much he endured to reach this age. He had no siblings. When he became a young man, he was married to a beautiful Mecca's daughter. He loved his wife very much because there is no one else in his life except his wife. He loved his wife so much that he could never live alone without her. He stayed at home and didn't go anywhere for work. So one day his wife said to him, "How long will father's property last? You have given up everything after marriage to earn hard work. If you keep doing this, then one day we will have to face poverty. Allah Ta'ala has given us enough money and wealth, but if you sit at home like this, we will soon be poor." The young man said, "I don't know what to do when a wife like you leaves home alone, because there is no one else in my life except you." His wife said, "This is the rule of the world, that boys should work outside, knit for themselves, and on the other hand, girls should complete the housework. If everyone thinks like you, how will the world work? If it was the case that only by sitting at home, food would be arranged, then everyone would be sitting at home. This is not a rule of the world. Instead, you have to go out and work and earn money." But the young man refused to leave the house and his wife. One day his wife made a plan and said to him, "If you love me, then leave the village and go somewhere else." So the young man said, "Where do I go? I don't go out of the house without you, and you ask me to leave this village." His wife said, "Look, and if you really love me, then you fulfill this wish of mine." When he promised love and said, "You prove it, how much you love me." So the young man agreed and said, "Okay. For your love I would not leave my house, but for your love I will leave this village and go to the city today, so that I can fulfill your wishes." Hearing this, his wife was very happy that anyway my husband agreed to move out of the house. True to his word, the young man left the village and went to the city for a year. His wife had made up a plan that I should send my husband to the city, but after a day a desire arose in her mind that my husband is not at home and I cannot bear it. I don't spend a single day alone. So how do I spend the whole year? Although I advised him to go out. So I have to keep an eye on the matter. Thus the girl spent a year with great patience, but she was a woman and a boy, and a girl could not have physical needs inside her. And Satan comes at this time and tries to make people do bad things. But we have to survive this condition of Satan. But the girl could not give in to Satan's plot. The young woman prayed Aisha and went to sleep. And Iblis, Satan, they came here and tried to seduce the lonely girl in various ways. And he agreed to his advice. One day he came to know that there was a prostitute in his village. He who commits evil has become old, and he stopped his misdeeds. After that, the woman sneaked out to the lady and went to her secretly and said, "Look, my husband is not at home. I myself drove my husband out of the village. He is sending money, but he is not coming. And it has been a year since he left home. I have been alone for a long time, have been patient, but now I can't be patient anymore. Can you do something for me? That I fulfill my will, and no one can know it. Look, I live alone, and no one can know about it. But if my husband finds out that I am fulfilling my desire with someone else, then he will leave me, and I don't want to." That drunken woman said, "I have given up this job, but only for you. Since you have agreed to pay me, then I will arrange for you a young man who is not from here, and who will fulfill your wishes, and he will never meet your husband." Hearing this, the girl went home, and sitting at home waiting for that drunken woman to send some young man to my house. The old woman left the house in search of the young man, and thought that if I find a young man alone, I will tell him this. What is mine? I am getting paid for this work. The old woman walked out of the house and reached a hilly area. That place was a deserted place. Suddenly he saw a cave near that hill. He thought it was a long night. "So I passed in this cave tonight." He entered inside the cave and saw a little brightness inside. Seeing that light, he started thinking that where did the light inside the cave come from? When she got fully inside the cave and saw a man sitting there, the drunken woman slowly approached the man, and seeing him said, "Listen, who are you? And what are you doing in the deserted cave? And why are you crying?" When she turned her head, the drunken woman saw that it was no old man. Rather, there was a beautiful young man who was so beautiful that he had never seen such a young man in his life. Old lady asked, "Why are you crying? And what are you doing here?" The young man said, "I have no help. I have no home. I have been kicked out from where I used to live, and that is why I am staying here. For 7 days I have been here, but I have nothing to eat. Now I have a feeling that I will die soon." "But what are you doing here?" said a drunk woman. "I am expecting a young man who can do a special job for me. And if you do this for me, I am willing to pay you a lot of money. And in return, I will give you a lot of food." The young man said that I am ready to do any work. Just tell me where to go. Vidya said, "You come with me." And he started following her as they moved towards that village from the hilly area. And the woman came home and knocked at his door and said that I have brought you a young man, and he is willing to do all your work, and for that you feed him with food. When the woman heard this, she opened her door, and opened the door. She saw a handsome young man standing in front of her, and her husband was nothing to this young man. The girl looked at Vidya and said, "Very good job. I will give you money as you wish." And he said, "This young man, will you enter the house?" The young man entered the house with fear and looked around the house. The woman brought food for him. He ate the food very quickly, and after eating the food, he thanked Allah. After thanking Allah, he turned to the girl and said, "Tell me, what should I do?" She closed the door and got naked in front of the young man. Seeing this scene, the young man turned his eyes and said to him, "Why did you call me here?" The woman said, "I called you for this job. Look, my husband is not at home, and I was looking for a young man like you." "And who will not reveal my secret to anyone?" said the young man. "I will keep the secret when I do something with you." The girl said, "Who will see if I count?" The young man said, "If there is no one to see, then who is the one who created you and created me too?" "I want to leave here." The woman said, "No, you can't leave here now, because you have seen me the way my husband saw me. You can't go anywhere from here now." The young man said, "Is this your condition, that I stay here?" She said, "Yes, because you have to fulfill my wish." The young man said, I want to kill myself before fulfilling your wish." He stabbed himself in the side with a knife before the girl stopped him, and he died as he staggered. After seeing this scene, the girl did not feel any sadness. She did not feel a bit ashamed. "What did I do?" And this young man sacrificed his life to escape from Jannah. That girl did not take any education after seeing all this. Rather, it was thinking that now, what do I do with the body? If I take it out, people will catch me. I already wanted to hide my secret. Someone knows it for the body of this young man, that I killed him. It would be better than taking him outside. I buried him inside the house, digging a very big grave in the courtyard of the house. And there, he buried the young man. And after burying him, he went to his house and sat down. And that Ineka started abusing the young man. He thought, I couldn't do my job. Suddenly someone knocked on his door. The woman said, "Who is at the door?" A voice came from outside. "I am your husband." She hurriedly opened the door. And she was very happy to see him. She was very happy. Her husband had a bird cage in his hand. And inside that cage was a shalik bird. The woman saw the shalik bird and said, "It is a very beautiful bird." Her husband said, "Yes, I have brought this especially for you. It will make you very happy. You don't know that the cockatoo can speak very well. Not only this bird can find something lost somewhere. Do you often leave something somewhere and forget it? If you ever forget, then he will remind you very quickly. So he'll be quick to remind you where you put that thing." The woman said, "Well, that's a very nice thing." He brought the shalik bird home. Now she had a husband too. And that shalik bird was also there and started living his life very well. So he thought that what happened was good, that I had done wrong to anyone. Otherwise I would have had to hide that wrong again, for no reason. But he forgot that he was naked in front of him. And the body of the person with whom he wanted to do evil is buried in the courtyard of this house, whether anyone knows this or not. But Allah knows very well that the young man sacrificed his life to protect himself from evil deeds. One day it happened that the woman went to a neighbor's house for some work, and her husband was alone with his cockatoo. Suddenly the cockroach started screaming, "Dig that yard, dig that yard. There's something hidden, there's something hidden." That bird couldn't speak well. Her husband was very surprised, but he believed in the bird that whatever my bird says really happens. So he listened to Shalik and started digging the yard of the house. When he removed the soil from there, he saw that something was planted inside the sack, and he said, "May Allah have mercy on him. What is buried inside this yard?" He took it out of the bag very expertly, and when he opened the mouth of the sack, he saw that there was a dead body. But he couldn't recognize the corpse as it was decomposed. Now the mystery was revealed. That shalik bird revealed its secret. He thought he should ask his wife who it was. He immediately called his wife and said, "Whose body is this? And why is it buried in our yard? If you don't tell me the truth, I will kill you. And I will bury here." The girl told everything in fear that you have not come home for a year. Then a thought came to my mind. The young man said, "You wanted to do this crime in my absence? Did you want to do evil? And I am sorry that I could not stay in the city, even for you. I suffered a lot for you, but what you did for me, you betrayed the trust. You are a cheater. And from today, I do not accept you as my wife. And right now, I'm divorcing you." And he immediately divorced her and threw him out of the house. And the wicked woman left the place crying, trying to hide the secret. But the shalik bird revealed its secret. friends, we are to fulfill our desires. It does not see whether we are doing halal or haram. But Allah Ta'ala Rabbul Alameen sees everything. May Allah Almighty save us from all kinds of incidents. Ameen.